Ukraine's drone strike on Russian bomber bases didn't just shock Russia, it also raised alarm among U.S. officials concerned that American military installations could also be vulnerable to attack. Nicknamed Operation Spiderweb, the daring the 1st of June operation prompted Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane to review U.S.-based defenses and accelerate counter-drone technology for installations at home and abroad. Cheaper, attritable, commercially available drones with small explosives represent a new threat, as was exemplified in that operation, Hegseth told Senate lawmakers the 11th of June. It's a critical reality of the modern battlefield that we have a responsibility to address. Drones are only part of the problem. U.S. air bases in the Pacific are vulnerable to attack from long-range Chinese missiles, and cheap cruise missile technologies are proliferating around the globe. Recent studies from AFA's Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies, the Hudson Institute, and RAND, the federally funded research firm, have all recommended over the past year that the Air Force increase its passive and active defenses, from rapid runway repair and blast-resistant shelters to directed energy defenses against drones and new air defense systems to shoot down larger missiles. The Army is responsible for base defense, and most missile interceptor systems, such as Patriot, belong to the Army. But force protection is in short supply compared to the potential threats. The Air Force has more control over what it spends to harden air bases than it does over when and where the Army deploys Patriot and Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD, batteries. Dispersing forces can decrease vulnerability to attack, but ace locations won't be invisible to China's space-based targeting system. China has placed hundreds of satellites in orbit to form a network designed to track U.S. and allied forces in the Pacific. Former Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall saw air-based defense as a more glaring need for the Air Force than the future F-47 next-generation air dominance jet. If we leave our bases vulnerable to attack, the F-22, the F-35, and the F-47 will never get off the ground, Kendall said on the Defense and Aerospace Report podcast. China has poured resources into developing long-range cruise and ballistic missiles to hold at risk U.S. air bases in the Pacific. China has also demonstrated drone swarms and, according to RAND, aims to be the preeminent producer and user of such systems. China is capable of attacking all U.S. bases in the Indo-Pacific region, researchers wrote. Yet, air-based defense has not kept pace with the continued technological threats to air bases and other military installations. The RAND report was requested by Pacific Air Forces, and the recommendations were presented to the Air Force last fall. The Air Force did not provide comment to Air and Space Forces magazine by press time.